everybody. Before we get into the show, I'm going to be in Portland, Maine, August 3rd at the Empire Comedy Club. Get your tickets now at probably their website, because I'm sure no one's put it on my website. And that's it. Thank you, guys. The Rap Jack Black and Sagdaddy, I'm back at it with a fantastic podcast for your asses. Yapping in a trap like a rescue cat, and the rescued up like they're waiting on the Batman. You tuned into the dude who threw booze back, blacked out, woke up drunk, covered in bruises. It's Sagdaddy the pod, an odd fellow, the great white chubby, I'm becoming a marshmallow. It's Sagdaddy the pod, so sit back and relax, cause like a broken arm, I got a cast now. It's Sagdaddy the pod, you made a good choice, so enjoy, don't be annoyed. Now here's my dumb voice. Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's actually a nice guy. I just don't like the, I don't know. Not that I don't like. I'm just like, it's an odd choice to go for not funny and be like political and all this stuff. Yeah. But we'll get onto that on the Patreon, where we love talking shit on the Patreon, giving these people their money's worth.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, dude.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like I haven't seen you in fucking years.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look the same. I got fatter.
Yeah. I lost a little weight, actually. Yeah.
You lost weight?
Yeah.
Nice.
30 pounds.
30 pounds. Good for you. I lost, not to, I mean, this isn't, I'm just going to add to mine. I've lost 10 pounds by fasting.
Nice.
If you could believe that. It's so hard to do. How'd you lose 30?
Just having a kid. Like having to be the bare minimum of physically active.
Usually it goes the other way. Usually people just start eating and.
Yeah, but you have to have like a bottom level of strength just to hold a 30-pound child. Like it's like, even when they're like born and they're like 7 pounds, it's like you're carrying them the whole fucking day.
Yeah, and you're essentially carrying a big bag of like potatoes.
Yeah, and then it's like once they start walking, like you realize like this kid just learned to walk and he's already outpacing me. Like, it's a rude awakening of like, oh god, I have like the speed of a infant.
What was your dad like?
Fat.
He was fat.
Oh, a big boy. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I remember one time he bet us. He was like. He did it to motivate himself. He didn't have any friends. Like, we never had anyone come over. It was just, him and my mom divorced, and he was like, single, remorseful dad, which is great. Get a dad who's ashamed, because they'll spend a lot of time with you and a lot of money. We did everything together. Yeah. But his whole thing was, he was like, I'm going to give you $50 if I can't lose 50 pounds in 6 months, and he didn't. He gained 15 pounds, and of course we were always like, "I want donuts, I want candy."
Of course.
And he's fucking tempted, and and I bought the Technodrome. That was like the big Ninja Turtle playset with it, and it was just like it was like a prized possession of mine because of my dad's inability to save his own life.
Dude, that's hilarious. You got to give it up for your dad for giving you the money. If my dad made a bet like that, which he has, he would find a way to be like, he's a lawyer. He's like, well, actually, in dividends, I've paid you that and then some. So technically, you owe me money.
My dad didn't even graduate high school. I think got up to like 8th or 9th grade. Yeah. So even he's like, man, this 8-year-old might find a way to break my leg. like lived in fear. Like he will be pissed if he doesn't get his fucking Technodrome. Just like, where's the money, father? Pay up, Papa.
And you had that autism strength too, right?
Well, I didn't realize. I didn't get diagnosed till a few years ago. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had accident. Yeah, unaware autism strength.
You're like an X-Man. Yeah. Before he goes to the school.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Florida.
Oh shit! Yeah. Where in South Florida?
I tell people like Fort Lauderdale, but
I love Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, most people do, but that's not actually where I grew up.
Yeah. Did you hate it growing up there?
Yeah. It doesn't have any identity. It's interesting. The sport, I'm not a sports guy at all, but like the sports fans are the worst. Like they love you when they're winning, and they are the second you don't do what they want, they turn on you.
Yeah.
There's no loyalty. There's no like generational sadness of like my grandpa liked the Browns, so I guess I have to,
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Fair weather fans.
Yeah, and even of the place.
Yeah.
So it's this weird. Everyone came. I always say this, like everyone came to Florida in 1972. They all came at the same time. They're like, "This is my place."
Yeah.
And didn't ask anybody else.
Florida really is like the most. What's the word when white people come into neighborhoods?
Gentrified?
It's gentrified by people. It's like known to be gentrified. You're like if you're from New York and you're Jewish, they're like, and then you hit a certain age, you go down to Florida.
But it's the opposite because it's like gentrification is usually like white people with wealth, but Florida, it's white people who have less money than the minorities. It's the trashiest white people come and make the place worse. They take beautiful black neighborhoods and the white people lower the property value.
They ruin it. I do love Florida as someone who's like a Long Island, New York guy. I'm like, I would go there for vacations.
Yeah, that's where you'll die. Yeah,
that's where I'm gonna go to die. I mean, I love like Orlando and shit. Like I love Disney and all that.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, visiting there, it's like living, being raised in other people's vacation spot.
Yeah,
it's weird, and it's just it doesn't. It's like, and everyone's overcompensating.
Yeah,
the Cubans are being like double Cuban because they can't go back to Cuba.
Yeah,
and like. The rednecks are like they're worse than they would be in Georgia because they have to really prove it. It's
right.
Like I always say, like where I was is like I grew up in a town. I was raised joint custody, so my mom lived in Pembroke Pines, and my dad lived in Davie, and those places are what they sound like.
Yeah.
Pembroke Pines.
Yeah,
Davie.
it's very nice. And then Davie.
Yeah, Davie. Yeah, my dad lived in a trailer park, so it was like, and then my mom and stepdad lived in a house, and I learned to not care about money because my dad spent a lot of time with us, and my mom was like, "You're kind of ruining my fucking second marriage."
Yeah. Wow. You're like the dude from The Departed. You're like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed. Where he's like, I bet you had a different voice, didn't you, motherfucker?
Yeah.
I'd like
to believe I'd be physically intimidating on screen. That scene when he beats up the dude over grape juice or whatever, I'm like,
it was the fucking, what are you on your period?
It's so funny because I am not masculine at all, but you put Leonardo DiCaprio on a screen, I'm like, that's not a man.
Yeah.
I never buy him as that poor fucking bear that had to pretend to be scared in The Revenant.
Yeah, he never looks, anytime he's tough, you're like, you're not tough, dude.
It's like he's young enough still that he can fuck underage girls and it's seen as acceptable because he also looks like one.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude.
Like other guys who are like 53, they're like, oh man, that's gross. You look at Leon and it's like, kids will be kids.
Yeah. You really are almost like, there's some people that you're like, he's just doing what movie stars do.
He's as fresh as the day he drowned in the Atlantic.
When you grew up, were you like bullied or anything? Or like, you were bullied?
Yeah, and now it's funny that's the funny thing about getting a late diagnosis. All these people are like, "You're a retard." I'm like, actually, it's high level autism.
Wait, what made you like check to see if you had autism? Were you like, I'm gonna go to a doc, or was a doctor like, were you getting like a physical and they were like, hey, by the way, I think you're. Did they like?
There's a lot of crayons you ate.
Yeah, like The Simpsons. Like you still got one shoved up your nose.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? You like?
No. I was.
Was your wife like, hey, I think you should get checked out?
Well, it's funny. Her was like. So I basically, it was like was going to. We were in the adoption process, and I realized like it's that thing like autism is when anyone says like I'm just being me, that's often autism, especially if it's at the inconvenience of other people. if anyone's like, that's just who I am.
Oh man, my mom's autistic. I didn't even
it
know
probably
that.
is. No, we didn't get diagnosed because they didn't, and
Yeah.
but no. So so what did I took the test, and I fucking passed. I did really well on the test. I aced that shit.
Yeah.
And
What's the test like?
It's intense. It's so the first part is
And then you're like, get me out of this tent.
yeah.
Get me out of this tent. It's so scary.
It's actually just building a tent, and if you can't, you're autistic. So see, stepfather, this is why I couldn't be a weebelo. But no, it was the thing of like I was watching. It was also Love on the Spectrum had just come on.
Okay.
And I was seeing way,
Yeah.
like I'm sitting with my wife, like, oh, he does that thing you do.
Yeah.
Like,
I
a
look at
lot.
colors as days too.
Yeah.
I can see, which I do actually. I could see every day as a color.
I look at, I look at them as emotions. Days are emotions. To
Monday
me.
is angry.
What do you think? I'm fucking Garfield?
I guess that's why
Monday's regret. No, no, but I can tell you the day of the week I've seen any movie I've ever seen in my life.
What?
Just because I can remember how I felt watching it.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, superpowers.
It kind of is. It kind of is a superpower.
Yeah,
the power of memorization.
well, that was the thing too. Is that like I'd be in writing rooms or on stage, and the one word people would always say about me, and I know it was meant as a compliment, but this also was like a sign, was machine. Oh, you're a machine. You could write this much this fast.
Yeah.
You must be a machine. I've been called that for like 10 years, and it's like, oh, that means I'm devoid of humanity. It's like it's a compliment, but it's not.
So funny, dude.
And you're like, why am I seen as mechanical in my writing process? And so so you interview with a psychologist. This was in 2021, so a lot of it was over Zoom. And this is one of my favorite stories. I had a poster of a Spider-Man cover behind me, and her ex-husband was the writer of that comic book.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to ask a bunch of questions about him. And she wrote that in my diagnosis.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Patient was obsessed with,
Patient was interested in my life.
Well, not her life. I mean,
Well, her
ex-husband's.
husband's life, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, and then you have to talk to your parents. That part's brutal
Why do you have to talk to your parents?
because you have to ask if they notice anything early development.
And did your parents notice anything?
That my mom got like accused. Like she's like, I didn't know. Yeah, I tried my best.
Classic mom, yeah.
Yeah, and then my dad was like, yeah, I probably had something too, but we didn't say anything because we knew they'd throw rocks at you.
You're like, they threw rocks at me anyway.
Yeah, I know.
At least
But
I
they were
had
softer
pills.
rocks.
Yeah.
So then I talked to them. Then you do this long survey. It was like a 50-page survey with all these different questions about your childhood, your present, and then you go into an office, and it's amazing because it's like, this is like a movie scene. It's like me and like 9 kids,
Yeah.
are just sitting in the waiting room.
Yeah. And
You're like, I'm the only one in the Spider-Man shirt, and
the Spider-Man issue that
Yeah.
her fucking ex-husband. He's like, are you wearing the shirt?
yeah, you
know
don't
what?
know Gary Conway, creator of the Punisher and Killer Croc.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is, and and so then you do like cognitive stuff. They ask you like spatial things, like identify this pattern, that pattern, and then they do memory stuff. And my memory stuff was extremely high. I have like an insanely tight memory.
Whoa.
And-
What does that feel like?
Terrible. There's also I've never drank. I don't,
Yeah.
really. I've had like a sip or two.
You
I don't
smoke
do
weed or anything like that?
No. I just look like it. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks I do.
Yeah.
I have pot face. Yeah. And no, I don't. But like, so I remember everyone else's alcoholism
Yeah.
and everyone else's coke binges, and
Whoa. Is that
Yeah.
like a struggle, or is it like almost remembering
it's
what you
kind of
had
rough
for
sometimes.
breakfast?
It's it's like there's like a sadness to it because it's like the amount of people who say I love you and don't remember they said it.
Right,
But
right.
you remember it and you
Right.
just carry that.
Yeah.
People that open up to you.
Yeah,
and
when they're
you just-
hammered.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. And it was, and I came up with like, Mark Normand and,
Yeah.
and Sean Patton and
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
I've heard stories of when you guys were doing open mics,
yeah.
and like you were kind of a bully, right?
I was seen as one, yeah. The thing that people would say was, ask Mark Norman how you did after a set if you wanted to feel good about yourself. Ask Mike Lawrence if you want to know how you actually did.
I love that though. I think that there's
Yeah,
something.
I look
to
like,
that.
and there's autism there of not knowing how to communicate, and I could be an asshole at times. It's funny, like there was no roast battle. I was prepping for roast battle without realizing it because I
yeah.
would go up after someone's set and just analyze their act.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's something about when you're coming up in the open mics that you don't look at it like you don't feel like there's any consequences to that. You're like, we're just
you don't feel like
comics,
there's any hope.
yeah, we're like we might as well be in a fucking alleyway trying to tell jokes.
I'm gonna
Like,
be
this
here
is-
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't think people are gonna remember that?
No, and they do, and and it's like I have regrets. Like I'm not proud of
No, of
everything I've
course, but,
done
you
and
know.
said, and
But you guys are young, right? Like, how old were you when you were
Yeah.
open micing?
I started stand up when I was almost I was like 22, and then I moved to New York on my 24th birthday. I bombed on my birthday so hard. Oh, it was the worst. And it was, I needed to come here when I did. I started in South Florida,
Yeah.
and I was there for like a year and 2 months. I did slam poetry for years.
Really?
My mom was a stand-up, and I didn't want to do stand-up because it's what mom did.
Yeah. Did you
And-
see it like affecting her life in a way that you?
Oh, yeah.
Or were you just like,
I
I
was
don't
like,
want
you can't raise a family on this.
Although she
fuck
was in
no.
the Pine Barrens or whatever the fuck the name
Pembroke
of the
Pines,
the
yeah.
Pembroke Pines.
Might as well have been the Pine Barrens, yeah.
because it's vast and empty.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
had an audience, and it was only Polly Walnuts and Christopher.
In fucking with neck things on.
Yeah, but I always say, like, growing up, like having a parent as a stand up, it's like I never got to have the honeymoon phase
Of
where-
stand up.
Yeah, where I got to imagine what it could be because I always saw what it was.
Yeah. Did you,
You
get
know.
farther than her?
Oh yeah.
Was she? What was like her career like? Like, was it good?
Nah, it was. I mean, she stayed in Florida. It was all right.
She
like,
have any writing gigs or anything like that?
no, she opened. She featured. It was like she started in the Boom.
Was she
So
funny?
She started in the Boom. And, she's all right. I mean, it's just not my sense of humor. We've had arguments about this. with
Hilarious.
Her and I like
Yeah.
respect it. And now it's like looking back, especially like being a parent and a comedian, like how hard that is.
Yeah.
But like I would watch her act every once in a while. I was like, I don't fucking get this.
Yeah.
So she took me when I was 12. And my brother was like 14, and she was at a steakhouse
Performing?
And, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So like I said,
That's brutal.
never got to see what it could be.
Yeah.
Always saw what it was.
Oh my god. Well, at least you
And-
got to see what it was.
And I remember afterwards, he was like, you didn't laugh. You didn't really laugh. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, it's just like I didn't know what
How
to
old
fucking
were
say.
you?
I said I was 12.
Oh.
And she's like, you find that fucking Beavis and Butthead so funny.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
she's like, that Adam Sandler, he's hilarious, but me,
They are.
yeah, I'm like, I'm 12.
Yeah, I'm 12. That's exactly my
Turn
demographic.
around and talk out of your ass
Yeah,
and say Samokin, and I'll fucking love you.
What was like her material like?
It was.
Was she like, I got these two little fucking
observational?
kids?
Yeah,
and
well, she would do
da-da-da-da-da.
like she just joke about like, my husband took my son to Hooters. I'm like, Bob doesn't take us places. It's like, it was a fucking lie. And then it was because then when I started, we had that moment of with the Eminem, Will Smith says I don't curse.
Yeah, I don't.
He doesn't curse, but I do. So fuck him and fuck you too. Or it's
Yeah.
like my mom's like, I don't do jokes like that in my act. I would never. And I was like, yeah, but we're not the same. So she would
Whoa.
give me notes and advice.
So you guys were doing stand up at the same time at one
No,
point, or she was
no.
just
yeah,
kind of criticizing.
I was just way more mean and brutal in my comedy than she ever was, and
Yeah.
it was hard for her to see, especially because some of the jokes were about her.
Oh wow, yeah, of course. I mean, she's if wow, that's
And I never
crazy.
did jokes about my mom like that, and I was like, you could have, because grandma's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow, that's so interesting.
So it was like this fundamental difference. We didn't talk for a little bit. I did jokes about her having breast implants, and she's like, I didn't want people to know that. And I remember yelling on the phone, well, then get fucking foot implants.
yeah,
And wear big shoes. I was like, you don't
yeah.
go from an A to a C overnight.
yeah, people know, Mom.
Yeah.
Has she ever asked to like open for you when like, or was there just like I'm just done?
She
done
wanted
with
to manage
comedy?
me.
She wanted to manage you.
Yeah. She was like, I still have contacts, and
And you were. I mean, at that point, did you have a manager? Were you like, or
for
was
a little while, no, for a good while I didn't, and then
was it even an option? Were you like, yeah, maybe I'll have Mom?
No, it wasn't, because it's just that idea and the family and
Yeah, you can't mix
you
blood and
know
money.
But it was weird, it's like weird, like I was a kid, is like when I got like Montreal, the Just for Laughs festival,
Yeah,
like nobody's parent knows what that is, but my mom did.
yeah.
And
yeah.
she wanted to come, and she's like, I want to sit in the front
That's
row.
cool, though.
And I was like, oh, you can't. But she came, she saw me at like several tapings and stuff, and
right.
it was cool. But but there was always that thought that I had of like, I don't know if you like fully like my sense of humor. And I was like, and it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
We are different, and it's like we came up differently. Like, just you being you versus me being raised by you makes us two entirely different people.
Yeah, that's so true, dude. Did she ever say like, because she it's almost like I go to Alan, the comedian therapist, right?
Yeah.
So there is a thing of like, I like that he just knows what it's about. I don't have to explain anything to him.
Yeah.
Now, with that having, like, you kind of have that as a mom, where it's like, when I got JFL, I had to, like, I was like, hey, I got this big festival.
Yeah.
And they were like, huh? And I'm like, just fucking Google it.
Yeah.
But did she ever say, like, wow, you've got so many accomplishments. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, yeah. She's very supportive.
Great.
She's extremely supportive. But that always, like, there's always a conflict there of, like, there's that part of me that's like, but I don't, like I said, like, but I don't know if you fully like appreciate my specific sense of humor. Cause like when we're in person and I make jokes, there's times like she's like, oh boy, like she doesn't laugh. And like she says like I'm too mean, I go too far, I'm way too dark. And it's like, and I am. And it's just, we're just wired differently. My dad was a much darker person. Was more cynical, and I definitely have more of his personality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's better than kind of the opposite of being like, God, my son is such a fucking hack.
Yeah. It's like, hey, like the one thing I got from my dad was like cynicism. It's not like I also drank and hit you.
Yeah. That's
I didn't do
true.
all the things
You're
he
like,
did.
I got the only the only part that actually might help me.
Yeah, I got the part that keeps me from throwing pasta at a wall. I don't believe it'll stick. I don't think I'm strong enough.
Yeah. Wow, that's so interesting, dude. And does your mom ever say anything that you're like, oh, that'd be a good bit, actually?
Yeah.
You're like,
but then I'm always like, oh man, if she sees it, if like there's
no, but
gonna
I
be
mean for
this
her,
issue.
like, has she said anything that you're like, wow, if she was still on stage, she could do that as a bit?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. She did it like now it's been like 10 years, but I had a friend who was like he was booking that it was like Nick at Night, like funniest moms in America.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and she auditioned for it.
What, really?
And I hosted at Broadway Comedy Club. I brought her up on stage. And that was cool. That was
Yeah.
like but I didn't say
That's
that she was,
sweet.
because there was like 13 other people on the show. So I didn't say she was my mom.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
No, and I felt that would be
You're
weird.
like,
and
gosh, she's got the same last name as me. Did she have
she
a?
doesn't. No, because she remarried.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she went as her own
Yeah.
thing. How'd she do on that?
She did okay. It was good. Like, she was rusty.
Did she get the job?
No. No, and I remember the person like being afraid to tell me, and she handled it great. She was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's okay.
I mean,
She didn't
obviously,
expect it. Yeah, it's like, that's fair. Yeah.
So what rooms did you start out in Florida when you were doing? So you doing comedy for 2 years in Florida.
A year and
Were
2
you
months,
working
yeah.
at the McDonald's at the time? You were
Yeah.
working at McDonald's for 10 years, right?
Yeah, seven and a half. Yeah.
7.5
I was, I wrote my
years.
first jokes on receipt paper, and yeah.
Whoa.
And that was where like my humor came from, was I would make fun of the customers to the other employees. So my main job there was in McDonald's terms. I don't know if they use these phrases anymore.
In McDonald's terms,
Yeah,
is very funny.
there's the runner and the presenter.
Okay.
And the runner is well, the
Okay.
runner's the one who grabs the food. They run the food, right? The presenter's the one who hands it out. I was drive-through cash, so I would take your order,
Right.
which meant that I was the first person who saw what the people looked like.
Okay.
And my game was, then when the presenter and runner see the person, I'm making jokes about them and
Uh-huh.
trying to get them to crack and laugh in front of the person's face.
That's so. And were you saying the jokes into their? Like, could they
yeah,
hear
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
So
That-
I would, because we could just talk to the other employees.
Yeah.
And, if it was a fat person, oh, look, I need my cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Oh, I use a phrase, car tours. They're like centaurs. There's like people that you can't see their feet. They're so fat that
great.
they're half car, half human.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing I would say.
That's one of the best laughs too, where it's like
Yo,
you
yeah.
say something about someone and then they pull up, and it's like you say the joke and then it makes the person laugh because they're like, I can't wait to see what this person looks like.
Yeah.
It just
I
pulls
say
right
it
up.
as they see them. That was the whole thing.
Do you remember, like, is it ingrained in you? Because it's been obviously so many years since
Yeah.
you worked there, but is it ingrained in you, the fucking way to do that? Like, hi, welcome to McDonald's. Do we have a fucking
Yeah.
cookie today? Would you like that?
Yeah. Suggestive selling. Yeah.
Suggestive selling.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
Oh my god,
yeah, I
you were
would do
so
that.
in. You were.
Oh, I mean, yeah. It was.
You-
it was
it's like
there
you
for a
got
long
out
time.
of like a crime family.
Yeah.
You were in it.
Yeah, and it was great prep for comedy because I was just around people that didn't respect me all the time. So that was the thing too. Is like I didn't have the ego that a lot of people do coming into comedy because of that job of
Yeah.
like you see it, like the entitlement. Like you could tell when someone goes on stage and they never had a day job.
Yeah.
And they and it's like their first experience of any type of customer service.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
like I was told that I'm beneath everything. Like waiters didn't respect me. Pizza delivery drivers didn't respect me.
No.
Everyone came to my job to shit on people lesser than them.
Whoa.
And I was that person.
Did you have like confidence back then, or did you start getting confident when you were like, oh, I'm like one of the funniest guys at these open mics and shit? Like, did like the confidence come with being good at stand up, or were you like,
There's some of it, but it was like, I've always had a low opinion of Florida, and I was just like, I can't stay here. Like,
yeah,
so, I would have, the guy that would come back from New York and, the streets are paved in stage time. And,
Yeah.
I remember I took a class of a guy, he's still around, I think, Steve Marshall.
oh
It was-
yeah,
yeah,
Steve,
I was 20.
he's like
don't
the criminal.
behave.
Don't behave.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a whole thing.
I did a $20 class And he was like, and when you know, if you ever come out there, I'll help you out. And I remember the first week I was there, like, I'm here. And he's like, yeah, I'm not helping you.
It's almost like Donnie
couldn't,
Brasco, dude.
Yeah.
It's like you show up and you're like, Steve's gonna help me, and then
he
see
saw
how
me
these
years
people-
later, and he's like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "I'm good."
You're like, don't behave.
Yeah, it's like you should have behaved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no,
he's from Florida, I guess. So
I think so. Yeah.
okay. So how did you go to school? Like, did you go to college?
I went to I went. Well, I went 1 year in Virginia at a place called Longwood University, and
How was that?
It was a disaster. I got suicidal.
Oh my god!
I lost money. It was just fucking depressing. I went September 2001 and it was in Virginia, and I lived with these two really Christian guys. Like it was rough.
Were they like judging you?
Oh yeah. And that was before they found out I was Jewish. And then especially, but I remember the mom, like the first day, she's like, Adam, Daniel, and Michael, just like the Bible. It's like, these guys are not gonna like me. And I remember I had the TV, and there was one time we got into like a big fight because Monday Night Football was on, and they were really into football.
Yeah.
But also the first season of Justice League on Cartoon Network aired Mondays at 9 p.m. And it was brand new.
Mondays at 9. Oh, okay,
I know it was
that
weird,
makes
but it
sense.
was the fucking Superman and Batman, and
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm watching that. This is every week is my Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I remember I ended up like we got in such an argument one time that this is how lame I was. I'm in no way being like I was a cool guy. I posted a quote on the wall from Watchmen where Rorschach, in the prison goes, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Dude, that is such a funny
I put
thing
that
for your
on the
roommate
fridge.
to put up.
I put it on the
fridge. Dude, that would scare the fuck out of me. I'd leave.
Yeah.
I'd confront you about that. I'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, Mike.
That was like, it's my TV.
What is this about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they were like, then, 9/11 happens, and they were like very Republican and very, I heard all the post 9/11 songs. They would listen to them.
Yeah. All
Charlie
like
Daniels had one. It's a flag, not a rag. We don't put it on our heads.
So is that what that was like? Like, because I was so young when that happened. Was that like these, like the Republicans that were around during that time? What were they like? What was their like? What were they like?
Like a very, so yeah, I was 18, and a big thing I remember was that it was school. It was a Tuesday morning. I remember they woke me up like, Adam and Daniel like, Michael, you got to see this, and and you watch it. And I was sleeping, and I was like,
saying you have to see this is a little strange to me.
But it was unprecedented. Of like, what the fuck is? And
I'd probably say, come
it
look
was.
At this.
It's hard. It's hard to remember, in hindsight, but like it was ongoing, right? This plane, and then that plane, and then the Pentagon, and because we were in Virginia, those were seen as much more threatening, because there were a good amount of students that had parents that lived in DC.
Yeah.
So they were like afraid of their, families and
course.
stuff. And but I remember, I went to history class that day, and there were some students, and look, like everyone deals with shit differently. Some people just didn't even go to class. I remember my history teacher, he kept the class going. He's like, yeah, this is a historical day, and that's why we need history.
Yeah.
And there were some people that didn't show up, but I showed up to all my classes, and it was a weird, it was a very weird time. And then, but the thing that I remember was I visited New York in 2001 in Thanksgiving. I have an aunt and uncle that live here, and I went to see them. And
2 months after 9/11.
Yeah, and I remember the bus driver. It was like a Greyhound bus. He gets on the loudspeaker and he's like, "I am Greek. I am not even Muslim. Please stop asking me if I'm going to hijack the."
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was like that real like them versus us. Like that people took, it's this amazing thing, right? Where we really did have the goodwill of the world. Like we were sympathetic. I mean, America's very rarely sympathetic.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh man, like they went through something,
Right.
and,
What was that, like a good year before people were like,
oh, we pissed it away
Bush did
within
this.
months, like within weeks. Like I remember now, it's hilarious. I'm a wrestling fan. The first public gathering after 9/11 was WWE SmackDown. 2 days later.
That's a great place to be after
9/13.
9/11, though.
And they did
everyone's like, hell yeah, man.
They did a thing where they had all of the wrestlers like cut promos. Like they did, like they talked about their thoughts on 9/11, and Stephanie McMahon, she was like, this government, like, like we're backed into a corner, just like my father was when they accused him of doing steroids. But we survived that, and America will survive this.
They're so good at it. They're so good at pumping people up.
It's the weirdest. Like, if you ever want to watch like The Rock not be The Rock, if you just want to see Dwayne Johnson for 2 minutes, it's that of just like. He's not like, we're going to whip their candy asses. He's just like, because there was like, what the fuck? And you really, that's the thing. Now in hindsight, we just think of what happened. But in the immediate moment, everyone was just paranoid of this will happen again.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's so terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like, how could this happen? It's like and when you're in America, you're kind of like, we've got missiles that are locked on to missiles that will come in. There's no way you're getting over our fucking barrier. But then it fucking happens. And then you got Scotty Too Hottie being like, I don't feel too hotty.
The worm has turned.
Okay, so
Undertaker's like, to the 3,200 lost souls, rest in peace. And then, Kane starts fires with his mind. He's like, I gotta sit this one out.
He's like, I was too late.
He's like, I went like this and it accidentally exploded. No.
The Attitude Era is over.
Kane is like, I know what degree steel beams melt at.
I've done it before with my mind. So when you were in Florida and you were doing stand-up, did you get to the high level? Like, were you like a big fish in a small pond kind of thing?
I felt like I
before you moved to New York?
I felt like I was on that track, and it just felt like terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to do that. Like that, it felt like small.
Right.
Like you said. And just, I didn't know what bringer shows were, and I did a bringer show at the Improv. But then, by the end, I was allowed to do the, amateur nights at those places without having to bring people.
Yeah.
So I was already like, but I also knew, like, I was like, I think I'm doing too well.
Oh, interesting.
For where I'm at.
Interesting.
Like, because I did feel rusty and all of that. And then it's like, and then I moved here, and and then, I'm bombing and stuff. And I'm like, this feels right. Like,
right.
This makes sense.
That's actually like such a good attitude, because that I always hear these stories of like the big fit. It's hard to swallow your ego and come to New York and be like, oh, here we go.
I've seen a lot of guys
over.
that I started with in Florida that came and left because, well, one thing is like if you're in your pond too long.
Yeah.
That was for me. I was like,
you start getting comfortable.
Well, I also knew like I'm gonna have to unlearn stuff.
Yeah. Like what?
Racial slurs.
Right, where in Florida it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different, types of shock humor and stuff. Like I would, it was like I had one of my jokes was, and this one always worked in Florida. I was like, there's a cast member on Survivor this season with AIDS. He's fighting to win immunity.
Right.
So I'm in New York,
okay,
3 weeks in, and I'm at Boots and Saddles.
Yeah.
On Christopher Street.
Okay.
The gay bar, doing a comedy open mic night, and the guy goes, I lost my boyfriend to AIDS.
Oh my God.
But just even that proximity to like that there are people that are affected by this shit. And
and
racial jokes that I was like, yeah, these are fine. You know?
and then you're like around actual like black people. And
yeah,
you're like, oh, they're not. They don't
no.
like this. Yeah.
Like you had to un-Florida, and it's like,
Damn, dude.
you know, it's like the hackiest shit would kill, and then. And when you're, you know, killing is so addictive that you want to just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't care. And then
You kind of have to get bored of killing in that way.
yeah.
Like you have to be like, I know how to do it. I got to get better at this and more original.
Well, with New York, what was the most important thing for me was, and I've seen this with other people, and some of them realize it and some of them don't, which is that I was funnier off stage than I was on stage.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to be something that I'm not on stage. I was trying to be a facsimile of what I thought a comedian was.
Right.
And then I'm off stage and I'm telling stories about my mom in Davie, Florida, and McDonald. And those were making people laugh.
Yeah.
And then I'm going on stage and making fun of AIDS patients.
Right.
And so what the fuck am I?
That's like, who was like the guys that you were kind of like emulating when you were on stage? Like who was like your guys that you're like, oh, that's who I'm doing when I should be me?
Well, you're doing Mark Maron by asking that question.
Oh, that's hilarious. Who are you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, well, are we good?
Are we good? Yeah.
Well, he's, I mean, there's a new opening for an interview podcast coming out.
Yeah.
So, suck my
Welcome to
cock,
Why
Mark.
the Fuck.
Yeah. Am I doing this?
When the fuck? No.
This is why the fuck am I doing this?
That was like a
when the fuck?
That was a big moment for like my confidence in career was
when
I did a show. I did the live version, and I said to him, I was like, you know, my mom tells me she opened for you in 1991.
That's the year I was
like,
born.
Who was she? And I go, don't worry, you didn't fuck her. And he just goes, and then I opened for him for a bit. So it was like that was like a cool thing.
Whoa, full circle.
But my guy, you know, Patton Oswalt's my guy, and I got to tell him that.
Yeah, me too.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I met him recently, and actually,
and he's what you want him to be. He's such a sweetheart.
He's so fucking nice. He's so complimentary too. Yeah. Like he'll watch your set and be like, "Dude, this joke ruled. This joke ruled." And I was with Soder, and Soder was like, and because he was like, "Oh, Patton's gonna come by the show."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like he's the dude that made me want to do stand up.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is so crazy because I'm not at all like him. Like he's just so fucking smart. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I told Soder that, and he was like, he made me tell Patton that. He was like, "You got to tell him what you said." I was like, "Oh fuck!" And he was just such a nice dude about it.
Dude, it was weird. My moment with him was I performed for him a month after my dad died at Austin at South by Southwest. They asked me to. They had this like award show. And he was getting an award, and so he was just in the audience with his wife and stuff. But they asked me to co-host it. So Nick Thune hosts the first half, I host the second half.
Okay.
And I was asked to do a 10-minute roast of South by Southwest.
That's great.
And I wrote like all new material for it. And this is what was amazing was I think it was sponsored by like Yum Brands or whatever. It was, you know, like Pizza Hut and Dunkin' Donuts and all of that. And I remember this was about like I saw Patton laugh where I was like, you know, Yum Brands, the company that not only sponsored this festival, but also my father's death. And I did like 2 minutes about how all their products killed my dad. And he was like laughing, and he came up to me after and was like, "Hey man, you know, where do you live?" I was like, "I'm in LA." And he was like, "Come do my show in Largo sometime."
Yeah.
And you know, and it was like, and then I did a show like a few months later, and that's when my thing was always like, I was so insecure of like, I don't want to compliment someone before they see my act.
Yeah.
You know, especially what my compliment was. My compliment was, you're the reason I wanted to do comedy.
Yeah, dude.
You don't want to do that, and then they watch your comedy.
Yeah, and then you're bad, and they're like, "Oh God,
I'm doing my AIDS jokes
Patton
again."
Kills himself.
But I remember I had a set, and he was like a big fan, and yeah, it was at Largo, and I remember, one of the first things I said on stage was, I was like, guys, I'm autistic. I know that's the first time someone's ever said it at a Patton Oswalt show. And I saw him on the side, and I was like, all right.
Dude,
And he came up to me after. He was like, that was so great. And I have like the tape of the set, and I could hear him laughing on the tape.
Oh man.
And it was just,
rules.
and then I was like, you're the reason I got into comedy. And I was like, and my favorite like comedian to watch with my dad.
Yeah.
Because that was a transformative, his 1997 HBO.
Oh yeah, I literally was just talking about that with Broussard. I was talking about the 1997 HBO half-hour specials.
Yeah,
that
where they all
him
sat
and
at the
Chappelle
table
did.
and stuff. Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
Was Harlan Williams one of them? Maybe Jeff Garland. Maybe.
Oh, Jeff Garland was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the same. Like I remember.
It was a pretty stacked lineup.
He's one of my guys. You know what I mean?
But he did my dad fucking loved was the Nick Nolte.
Oh yeah,
as Han Solo, and then Nick Nolte is back. Chewbacca, goddamn, and then
Chewbacca, goddamn.
Yeah, and then seeing him do my favorite bit of his is the pause painting bit.
Yeah.
We had one color and it was white.
Yeah,
and seeing
they'll be back.
And that was the thing was like I never saw that type of comedy through my mom or the people that did stand up with my mom, and I was like, you could just talk about shit you grew up with.
Yeah, dude, I was trying to be like him so much, but I'm like, I'm not him. So it just comes off very like, you're putting all of these
But you're
words.
authentic and he's authentic,
That's the thing that's that's the thing. So it's like, that's what you have to go. But like when you're trying to like emulate the guys that you like with Patton, I'm putting all these words that I never use into and trying to be this like really smart dude on stage.
Yeah.
And being like complete, like all my references are like, you're not supposed to get who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, he was very he's inspirational for me, and
he's a nice dude.
You can meet most of your heroes.
Yeah, I mean, there's
people
not
say don't meet your heroes. It's like most of them are pretty decent.
Yeah,
because like especially if they have sustained careers, and look, not everybody is, and there are assholes, and some people just have bad days too. It's like,
is there anybody that you would even, as far as comedy goes, that you haven't met that you'd still get starstruck by even today?
Weird Al.
100%.
First album I ever had.
Oh yeah, which one?
Greatest Hits, the first Greatest Hits Volume 1 that had Eat It on it. It had Fat. It had Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah, my first album by him was Running with Scissors.
Okay,
and then I went backwards and I got Bad Hair Day and I got all those things. I still listen to that song Spam. I'm like, that's a good song.
Yeah, I was 8 and I got the tape, and it was just. It's transformative. I know he's performing. I don't know when this airs, but he's performing at MSG this weekend.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me, I have shows, but there's a part of me like, do I just fucking go? Like,
you should go. Have you ever seen Weird Al live?
I've never seen him live.
Dude, you should go.
Yeah. It's a cool, like, I love like his fans of like, he is an inside joke they've shared, but what's amazing about Weird Al too is that he's endured remember like, I think it was like 2014, 2015, he had the #1 album. And a part of that was because
that's crazy.
His fans still buy albums.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one else buys albums.
Well, he was like, the reason people even bought albums was it was an exciting listen.
Yeah.
Like, you would have a good album
if
it was exciting to listen to. If you're like, oh, I wonder what the next track is going to be.
And it's that thing too. It's like, it's a song parody guy, whatever, but it's like he is authentic and he never sold out.
No.
And he's always been true to himself, and
puts
he's
on a hell
clean.
of a show too,
he stays clean.
Yeah.
And, and it's like
also just like that legendary kind of like he like his parents died, and then he like right before he had to perform at a big show, and then like he just went out and did the show.
I used to do a bit about that where it was like, he's getting in the fat suit, and he's like, Mama and Papa would have wanted this. Grease me up.
Yeah, dude.
He's like, check your carbon monoxide levels. Don't dare to be stupid.
Is that how they went?
Yeah.
Dude, that's rough,
carbon monoxide
bro.
poisoning, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How do you let that happen?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that set in front of him, but
Of course, yeah, of course.
Nah, but it never worked. But it was like,
Yeah, you move to New York and you're like, no more AIDS or black jokes, and then you do the
Weird Al's parents died.
He's in the audience.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude. I heard a story about you where during those open mic times, like when Mark was going up, you'd do the Seinfeld theme.
Yes.
Dude, that is so fucking funny.
I would
man.
go bam, ba-dum, bum, bam, bam, ba-dum, bam, bam, bam.
That's so
And then
funny,
he would. It's a physical thing. He would lean. I didn't realize that I did this all the time. I leaned when I would do a punchline. So you know, he's fighting to win immunity. I
Yeah.
would do that.
Yeah.
So then I do the Seinfeld. And he goes, "Oh yeah," and he's leaning, and he's like,
Oh, good for him for fighting back.
He does the impression of the drinking bird from The Simpsons.
Hilarious, dude. That's so funny.
So we were hitting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
that-
I remember, doing the Seinfeld thing and him just he got so pissed.
Of course, dude. Yeah. If you're doing that every time.
Because he really was at the beginning.
Of course,
he was
yeah.
finding his voice and.
Dude, yeah, you came up with all these guys that like you saw them when they were bad.
Yeah, and it's funny is like it is like a kind of sweet thing, like visiting, and I was not in a time of social media currency, and now that is like such a big thing, and I don't have that much of a following, and then asking people like, hey, like it's terrifying to ask people to do their podcast.
Yeah. Why?
And realize because if they say no, and because like you see a lot of people on podcasts, the guests like do have massive followings and stuff, and I don't.
Well, there's
And
nothing to worry about with
I know,
with this
I know.
podcast.
Yeah. No, but then like people being like, yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did come up with you. Like, oh yeah, we did share a lot of memories. Oh, you were at my wedding. I was at your wedding. You're like, oh yeah. It's like I've lived in LA for 8 years, so there's like just that distance and all of
Yeah.
that. But I'll always be a New York comic.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's in my like veins, and like when I'm here,
Yeah.
like I'm here, like, but I'll say things that I don't realize how fucking dumb and like old I sound. I said to someone the other day, I was like, "Bad Slava, I knew Slava."
Dude, I haven't heard the word bad Slava in so far.
It was to the audience. It was an open mic database.
Yeah.
But there was a guy, Slava Urishkin, who
That was a real person?
It was a real guy, and he created it. And we used to do. If you weren't around for this, I'm sure you've heard of it. This was a legendary, terrible open mic, Maui Taco.
No, I've never heard of this.
Okay, Maui Taco was Friday nights at 8:00. And you would Hector Luis was the host, and you would call between 8:55 and 9 a.m. to get your spot.
Oh my God.
And it was $5. I passed out once, but I spent like the last $5 I had and didn't eat.
And you just passed out at the open mic?
Yeah, afterwards, yeah. It was those days, man.
That's fucking
A lot of this,
insane, bro.
Gut Bucket was like a big thing. Gut Bucket
What's
was
Gut Bucket? Yeah.
that was at UCB. That was Friday nights, and it was at midnight, and only 15 names would get chosen. And I remember, the nights when you didn't get chosen, man. There'd be like 60, 70 people, and I wasn't athletic. I wasn't a sports kid, but that's what it felt like. They put the roster on the wall. And your name is either on there or it isn't. There were a lot more mics
it's like a play.
like that.
It's like a high school play.
It was like when I moved in 2007, the Creek in the Cave had one called Kingdom of Heaven. Only 10 people would get selected, and people would just show up to these things, and it was you do 5 minutes, right? And then what ended up happening was everyone was like, no, we all want to go up 2 since we're here, and then everyone does 2 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But
actually.
I saw it go from 5 to 3 to 2.
The Creek in the Cave was good about that. Like they were very like inclusive and shit. Like, have you been to the one in Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's nice too. It's so funny. It's like Rebecca knows how to like make a place a hang for misfits.
Yeah.
Like every place she's made, it's like it immediately attracts these people that are like, yeah, we're just gonna. This is our hang here.
But it feels more legitimate there than it, like.
Oh yeah.
In New
Long
York,
Island
it was
City
was
like,
cool. It was like, but it felt like it was like we were the inmates who had taken over the asylum.
Yeah.
And there it feels like, oh, customers,
Yeah.
people.
I'll tell you what though, I never felt accepted at the Creek. I felt like it was very cliquey, and I was
Yeah, I get
out
that.
of the clique.
It was, yeah. I mean, I was in the clique.
Yeah.
And which is hard to reconcile with, of seeing yourself as an outsider, but like, oh yeah, I guess I was a part of the, but
Well, it's all made up. Like I
Yeah,
could
oh,
have
it
easily
totally
just
is.
kept hanging out and
yeah, but it
Fine.
also, it's wherever you go. I mean, I always like tell this story. Like, my first open mic ever in New York was New York Comedy Club on a Monday at 5 p.m.
oof.
It was
Brutal.
January 8th, 2007.
That's where the autism kicks in.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I go up, and and I did all right. And this guy after me goes up, does pretty decently. Most people bomb. Me and this guy, we talk for 10 minutes afterwards. We don't see each other for 2 years, and it's Dan Soder.
Oh, that's awesome.
He had just moved from Arizona.
Whoa.
And he goes and he does the clubs, and he gets
Yeah.
in through working the door
Yeah.
and barking and all of that stuff. That's his way through.
Yeah.
I did the shitty open mics. I did the naked show.
Yeah.
I did all
Yeah.
of the fucking bottom of the barrel stuff. And then we ended up seeing each other for the first time again 2 years after that.
Yeah.
And we were both, on a book show together.
Wow.
And it's just it's the different paths.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I went that path that he did, and I saw people doing the path you did, and I felt like, I mean, there's pain in all of the paths, but
you
I
were
felt
at
like
New York Comedy Club.
Yeah, I was New York Comedy Club. I worked the door. I worked
Yeah.
the phone. I barked, all that shit.
Oh yeah.
And then,
I knew I couldn't do that stuff.
dude, I couldn't do the 10 open mics in one night thing.
That's what I could do.
That's a pain threshold that I couldn't have, because after the second open mic, you're like, what am I doing? This sucks.
Yeah.
Is anything going to come from this? At least if I'm working the door, I go, hey, maybe they'll throw me up
Yeah.
in front of real people.
I'm in the proximity of success.
Yeah.
I'm seeing headliners all the time. I didn't know. I mean, our big thing was you didn't even want to say you were a comedian because you didn't feel like you were one until you had become one, like officially, until you were making like a living.
Yeah.
When I gave myself an ultimatum. I was like, by 30, if I don't make $5,000 or have at least one TV credit, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's always so interesting to me. The people
And a lot of that was
like,
with my mom, because I was like, I know that this is not.
And what would you do? What would you have
viable-
done?
Teach. I was going to
Teach.
be a teacher. That's what I was studying. Yeah, so like I said, I was in Virginia for a year. Then I went back to community college in South Florida. And then I graduated. And this is the thing, I told my parents, I was like, I want to move to New York. And they both were. And like, I did respect my mom's opinions and advice on comedy. Or she was just like, get a degree.
Right.
It's going to be fucking hard. And I got the degree, and I moved here with $2,000, which I burnt out pretty quick.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I
You're
was
fainting after the fucking tiki mic or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was an idiot. I'd never seen snow before.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, and I had it was Giggle Chick and Chuckle Monkey were before Bad Slava. Those were the sites that and I printed out, and I would go from
Wow.
place to place trying to find where they were. Didn't have a cell phone.
It's crazy
using the
that it
subway
worked
maps.
out. It's like, you got to think about all the people that were doing that it didn't work out for.
Oh, I know them. I see them when I close
you
my
lend them
eyes.
money. Yeah. I see
I
them
get
when they close
visited
their-
by them on Christmas. They're covered in chains. No, yeah,
great.
and it's funny too. It's like I had that survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
It was. I remember 2009. I didn't get a Montreal audition, and I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was furious with myself. Like, I physically beat myself up. Like,
You were like punching yourself?
yes, because I felt like I'm not doing right. Like, and everyone else is getting chosen but me.
Yeah.
And then I got an audition the next year and got it my first year. and ended up getting it before a lot of those people. And then it was this different weird dynamic of, oh, fucking Mike, you know?
Yeah. Things changed, huh?
Yeah. But I was still, then was funny was I started doing more open mics after that because I was like, I have to show that like I wasn't just here as a fad. And
Right.
Like I remember when I was at Montreal, Jay Welch,
yes,
he was hosting the pit mic, and he called from the pit with all the comedians there, wishing me good luck because it was my first time in 2 years that I wasn't there on a Tuesday night.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
He was cool, man.
Yeah.
He was a cool dude. And then how long until you did your album? Because your album is like, when I was I listened to that album so many times, dude.
Oh man, that means
it
a
gave
lot.
me that Patton Oswalt, like the jokes were just like boom, 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 boom. Like it was just like, it was a really good fucking album.
That was 2013.
Where'd you do that? The Creek?
No, I did that at Meltdown in LA.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Were you in LA when you like, did you move to LA?
I was visiting, and it also, I was like, I burnt out every favor in New York. I was like, let me go here, and you know, and I did it there, and I was able to like pack it decently, yeah, it was awesome, and it's cool. Like I always say, like, I don't have a lot of fans, but I have a few, and I really like them, you know.
Yeah.
And I've come, you know, and it's like I've talked to people who say that about that album, you know, what you said was really sweet, and I appreciate it. Of like, because you know, you release it, you don't know what it's going to do. Like, I remember, you know, it's like I open for him now, and I write with him, Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
he said the exact same thing. He was like, sad man. He's like, that album. He's like, I was like, this is what comedy is, and I would have no idea that he ever listened to it.
It's pretty crazy because you don't expect Pete to be into like the shit that you do. You know what I mean? Because you guys are so different aesthetically.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I remember just being like, it's personal, it's funny, like the jokes are so original, like you've got a rhythm, and it's not just about the rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, some people, they learn how to have a rhythm, and then for some reason, audiences kind of like, you know, they reward that because they'll like, ba 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 ba.
It's the cadence of funny.
Yeah, it's the cadence of funny, and they just laugh when they're supposed to laugh.
Yeah.
But it's like you were actually like saying stuff that was like really fucking hilarious.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
and now
I'm so proud of
you're
it.
gonna have a whole bunch of new fans because these guys are gonna, if they don't already know who you are, they're gonna check you the fuck out.
Yeah,
because
it's funny. I did a second album, and I know it's not as good. Mega Man Child. It came out 5 years later.
Interesting.
And
why don't you think it's as good?
I think that, you know, because I started getting writing jobs and stuff, and I wasn't as hungry. I wasn't as like, and I think that, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of rap, right? The first rap album when you have everything to say.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and
then the next one,
there's good stuff on it, and I think some of my best stuff is on it, but I know the first one's better.
Right.
You know, it's funny too, is I did 2 Comedy Central half hours, and I know that first one's better.
That's so interesting. I'm hoping that mine just get better, but so far nothing's been good.
But now it's funny. I barely perform in LA. When I come to New York, I do a lot of stand up, and it's like it is some of my favorite material I've ever written. I feel like I had to live a lot and you know, and rediscover myself, you know, with the diagnosis, with being a dad and all this and losing my dad, like
being married.
Finding all this shit, and like it helped me like become that person from the first album again in a way. Because it is, you know, it's interesting. Like I listened to that album, and it's funny, like, you know, I started dating my wife in 2010, but I was still doing I don't get laid jokes in 2012 and 2013.
Does that make you feel gross that you're like, I was kind of like being a liar?
Yeah, but what it was like when we started dating, I was first getting noticed, and it was like that persona was working for me,
right,
and it felt so scary to get rid of it just as I was doing things,
right.
You know, we started dating in May of 2010, and my first TV set was January of 2011. and I'm basically, doing that set.
Yeah.
The before I met her. So it's, I had like one or two new things in there, but I was afraid of like, it was genuinely like, I don't even know if people would want to be happy for me. I don't know if people want to see this character win.
Yeah. Whoa. That's fucking heavy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause it's like, yeah, I totally get that.
And then I felt like a fraud in a way.
Right. But then, at the end of the fucking day, it's like, whatever I talk about, I'm still this guy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could have found a way to be like, I am getting laid. Oh, joke's on you, everyone who saw me instantly.
We do that self-sabotaging thing, right? If I go to therapy, if I take meds, if I fall in love, if I do anything will disrupt the balance of my pure comedy filter. And then it's like, yeah, but it's not like I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, it's like you almost forget. They're like, oh, I'll actually never have a hole. Yeah. It's like, I'll always have this hole that will never be filled. So I'll always be funny no matter how.
I didn't take antidepressants till 2019.
What are you on now? Prozac?
Bupropion and fluoxetine. Yeah. And my big fear was, if I'm gonna stop being funny.
Yeah.
And there's also, but then I was like, yeah, but I don't want to live.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm less funny but want to live, I think that sounds okay. 'Cause I did in 2019. I wrote on Love Island.
No fucking way.
Yeah, I wrote on
with
the
Ian
first
Sterling.
Before it was not him. I wrote on.
Hilarious, dude. My girlfriend writes on that right now.
Oh wow,
she's in Fiji, right? I went to Fiji.
I went to Fiji the first year.
I went to Fiji 3 weeks ago. I was just there, and because she's there for 2 months, writing
with
on
Ian?
the show with Ian. Well, Ian's remote,
yeah.
So she's there while he's on fucking Zoom.
I wrote for Matthew Hoffman. I wrote for season 1.
He was the narrator at that time.
I developed the character with him and another writer.
Whoa.
Our thing was we didn't want Ian. We wanted a completely different guy, but the fans were like, yeah, but we want Ian.
Yeah, we want Ian.
And
they
eventually ended up going with Ian. And Matthew was great. And it was, he's like a gay American. And it was a completely different style of voice and everything.
Yeah.
And it was fun, like, developing it and, like, his language and everything.
Did you go to Fiji for 2 months?
Yeah. And then
put
I
you up
needed
at that Crown
antidepressants
Plaza?
after. So when your girlfriend gets back, you better.
She's coming back in 4 days.
Yeah, man. It was depressing. Like, it was. It's great.
I was there for 10 days and I got bored.
Because there's
nothing to do. We went to the Mala Beach. Did you go to any of those beaches or any of the islands? It's a
third world country with a few first world places.
And the food sucks ass.
Yeah.
The food sucks.
Well, their food is great.
I mean, the fish is good.
Yeah, when they make your food, it sucks ass because they don't want to make it.
Yeah, they're cooking burgers like, oh my God.
Their facsimile of a pizza is awful. It's to the point where when I watch Survivor, and it's all in Fiji and like the prize is pizza, I'm like, I'd rather eat the fucking water and rice. I'd rather, you know what tastes better? Jeff Probst's sweaty taint than the pizza there.
Yeah,
because it's made with indifference and anger towards white people.
I can't believe that. I can't believe you wrote for Love Island.
Dude,
and now it's the biggest show in the world. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. I mean, I wasn't gonna get residuals either way.
Yeah,
that's awesome that she does. Yeah, that's
Well, I was Did you stay at the Crown Plaza when you were out there?
No.
What'd they have you stay at? Like some fucking cabana?
Yeah, I forgot. All I remember about the place was my wife coming 3 weeks into me being there and going, you have black mold everywhere. I was like, I didn't.
Oh my God, dude, that's fucking crazy.
This is like one of the saddest stories was. I was, when I interviewed for it, the woman, women and their nerdy husbands and ex-husbands, the woman was like, my husband was a director on the Justice League cartoon. And I was like, really? I bought the Justice League action figures and brought them with me, hoping that he would like sign them and show them to him, and he never came.
Oh,
and I had them in my. It's funny though, like one of my best friends still I met on that job because the people you connect with, you really connect with.
Yeah.
The thing that was like tough for me was I went in cynically. Like I went
You're
in
like, "Fuck
because
this
we had to.
show,
Well, we had to fire our agents, the WGA, in 2019.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I don't have anything, and then I got offered that, and I just remember like being on the bus the first day, like. We all know this is bullshit, right? And like a lot of like, no, we're helping people find love.
Dude.
It was
That's why it makes me laugh so hard to picture you writing for that show of guys being like,
Does she have the same at 1 a.m. to noon?
no, it's she wakes up at 5:30 and we go to breakfast.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was there. We would go
Yeah.
to breakfast and then I would just stay at the resort the entire time. Then she comes home around 2.
Oh my God.
I mean, she's probably way better than.
Yeah.
What you
We
are.
were 1 a.m. till noon.
Well, we got to end the show, but if you want to keep, or we're doing the Patreon, if you want to
Yeah.
stick around, we'll keep fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
And Bula, everybody check out Mike Lawrence.
You say bula bula?
Bula, yeah, I don't
You know,
know.
I still go-
Bula as goodbye.
We still go Fiji.
Is that what they say? Oh my god!
Well, they
yeah.
they go bula bula.
Well, I was doing the aerobics in the pool. I really want to hear about how the fuck they treated you when you were there because it might be so fucking different.
I think it is.
All right, well, check out Mike Lawrence. You got anything to promote?
Yeah, my podcast, Nerd of Mouth, is on the Last Podcast Network. So
That's
if you
such a
know the
good
Last
name.
Podcast on the left,
Yeah.
those guys, I do it with a guy, Jake Young and Holden McNeely. We talk about all sorts of nerdy stuff. I did a full autism episode where I talk about my symptoms
Whoa.
and the diagnosis and everything. Don't worry, I did a few different jokes here. I didn't just do this. And, you know, we just did one about like Superman and the importance of Superman in today's cynical society. It's a lot of fun, and
That
I would
rules.
highly recommend it. Yeah.
I can't wait to see Superman. Also, yeah, check me out. You know all my shit. Nicole, check Nicole out. Patreon.com/SagDaddyThePod. And we'll see you on next Wednesday. Who cares? Bye-bye.
The Rap Jack Black and Sagdaddy, I'm back at it with a fantastic podcast for your asses. Yapping in a trap like a rescue cat, and the rescued up like they're waiting on the Batman. You tuned into the dude who threw booze back, blacked out, woke up drunk, covered in bruises. It's Sagdaddy the Pod, an odd fellow, the great white chubby, I'm becoming a marshmallow. It's Sagdaddy the Pod, so sit back and relax, cause like a broken arm, I got a cast now. It's Sagdaddy the Pod, you made a good choice, so enjoy, don't be annoyed, now here's my dumb voice. So recognizable, ski master, unreliable, diary of a guy who's higher than a freaking diving board. I'm tired, call me biting you as lang cause you align with your wardrobe. Give that back, you ain't that guy, bro. Kaleidoscope stripping, goddamn I'm tripping. Sipping shroom tea, looking at a blank television. Got a girl here gripping, thinking we'll do some business, but that's the last thing that I want. Seriously. Big dog, I'm on shirts now. Still scared that my house is gonna burn down. I'm a rare card, an old Charizard. Getting BJ's on a bench of a promenade. Don't know what to do, I got a lot of problems. Lot of emotional truths, I menage them. I'm getting robbed every time I get a coffee. Cause $6 is just too much.
Keep it on the low. We can keep it on the low. We can keep it on the low. But all you do is wrong.
Dream team, me and Galene and the 4 Beatles. Kidnapping whores illegally, pumping them full of needles. Eating Chinese till Steven asks us to order a pizza. Walk to run to get it, I can't do either. It's Sagdaddy the Pod, don't think twice, just bob your head, Dylan, your chicken with no rice. It's Sagdaddy the Pod, and on God I won't stop unless I wanna, that's kinda the deal, huh? It's Sagdaddy the Pod, no need to deviate. Your ears are not the only holes that I'm about to penetrate. It's Sagdaddy the Pod, so thanks for tuning in. Truman Show flow, if I don't see you, you can suck my dick.